INFJs are known for their deep insight, emotional intelligence, and compassion for others. But behind their calm and composed exterior often lies a silent battle with depression, a struggle few people truly understand. Why do INFJs carry this invisible weight more than most? Here are 10 reasons why INFJs struggle with depression more than any other personality type. Absorbing everyone's emotions. INFJs are emotional sponges. Their extroverted feeling, phi function, makes them highly attuned to other people's emotions, often to the point where they absorb the pain of those around them. They feel the suffering of others as if it were their own, but unlike most people, they struggle to release these emotions. This constant emotional weight can slowly drag them into depression without even realizing why they're feeling so heavy. The weight of the world's problems. INFJs don't just notice suffering, they internalize the pain of the world. Their idealistic nature makes them long for a better world, but when they witness injustice, corruption, or suffering, it can feel like a personal failure. This overwhelming sense of responsibility can leave them feeling powerless, hopeless, and deeply depressed. Feeling deeply misunderstood. INFJs are rare, only about 1 to 2% of the population. Their complex, layered way of thinking often makes them feel like outsiders. They crave deep, meaningful conversations, but when others dismiss their thoughts or fail to understand their depth, it reinforces their sense of isolation and loneliness. This ongoing feeling of being misunderstood can trigger deep emotional sadness over time. Constantly suppressing their own needs. INFJs are natural givers. They prioritize the happiness of others, often at the expense of their own well-being. But this selflessness comes with a hidden cost. When INFJs consistently suppress their own needs to care for others, they eventually feel invisible and emotionally starved, which can lead to long-term depression. The perfectionist trap. Many INFJs secretly battle with perfectionism, not just in their work, but in how they live their lives. They believe they must always be wise, kind, and capable. When they fall short of their own impossible standards, it creates a spiral of self-criticism and self-doubt that fuels their depression. Deep existential crises. INFJs are constantly questioning the meaning of life, their purpose, and the nature of reality. While this makes them wise and philosophical, it also leaves them vulnerable to existential depression, a deep, aching sadness that comes from not finding the answers they desperately seek. Overthinking everything. INFJs have hyperactive minds. They replay conversations, second-guess their decisions, and analyze everything down to the smallest detail. This endless mental loop often creates a sense of emotional paralysis, where they feel stuck inside their own minds, unable to move forward. Fear of burdening others. Even though INFJs are excellent listeners and advice givers, they rarely ask for help themselves. They fear that opening up about their struggles will burden others, so they bottle everything up, letting their pain fester in silence. This emotional isolation only makes their depression worse. High sensitivity to criticism. INFJs take criticism deeply to heart. Even constructive feedback can feel like a personal attack. They internalize negative comments, turning them into self-doubt and shame that lingers long after the conversation is over. Over time, this emotional sensitivity can erode their confidence and fuel depressive thoughts. Struggling to find their place in the world. INFJs often feel like they were born into the wrong era or the wrong world entirely. They long for depth, authenticity, and connection in a society that often prioritizes superficiality. This disconnect makes them feel like they'll never truly belong, a lonely feeling that can lead to chronic sadness and depression. If you're an INFJ struggling with depression, know this: you're not broken. You're simply wired to feel the world more deeply than others. Your empathy, insight, and compassion are gifts, but they can also be heavy burdens. The first step to healing is to acknowledge your pain and start giving yourself the same kindness you so freely give to others.